Hello everybody, this is Purge, and I'm bringing you guys another gameplay commentary. We're going to be watching a special little gameplay, which I'm sure if you guys read the title, it is BloodSeeker, so I will not ruin it. We're playing a random draft mode. Unfortunately, we cannot see the hero picks, just how the replays work at the moment, so I'm sure they'll fix this in the future. They'll probably have some cool little fun interactive thing, I expect, more so than the way that it's currently set up. But I don't know that for a fact, but anyways, I can commentate a little bit. I'm just going to speed up the picking here, because you already know what I'm going to pick, but they drafted a Dazzle. I was playing with Uranik and Chachi here. They played a Juggernaut as well as a Venomancer. And it is these two guys' turn to pick. We'll see what they pick up. Shadow Demon and a Broodmother. Jerry picks a Windrunner, and Memoria is playing with us as well. More thinks this is a 5-stack of us, 3 noobish players, myself and Memoria, who are much better than them. I'm just trying to state the facts. Not major shit talking. Priest of the Moon gets drafted next. And a Weaver. So at this point I was saying, alright, BloodSeeker's in the pool. I haven't played BloodSeeker in a long time. He counters a lot of these heroes. He counters Dazzle really hard. Counters Shadow Demon, counters Weaver. Those 3 heroes are pretty screwed over. Even a hero like Priest of the Moon has some issues as well. So I'm going to switch this over to player perspective and whip this up here. And then I need to close this. I think it is officially closed. So, alright, from here on out, once again, we're casting a replay. I am not doing this live. When I was playing this game, I was just playing it casually. I wasn't streaming. I wasn't doing anything. So, basically, I can give some overviews on BloodSeeker. I know it's been a very long time since I made a video, and I seem to remember the last time I made a video of BloodSeeker, I did a solo mid against a dual lane, which didn't work out well at all. So, starting things off here, you may look at the items and say, Purge, but you told us never to get Quelling Blade, Tango, and Stout Shield. What the hell? Well, the fact is that BloodSeeker's second skill, if you get last hits, it regens some of your HP. So, if you're a competent last hitter, which I am, especially with a Quelling Blade, then I don't really need to not... I can skip the Tango. I really can. Just skip the Tango. Or skip the... whatever. Stout Shield allows you to get last hits and take less damage while you get the last hits. Quelling Blade allows you to regen HP, so the 2 items together help you get health regen. Don't get this on pretty much anyone else, honestly. Pretty much any other hero it's not that useful on. The only downside really is that my HP pool could be better with stats. BloodSeeker doesn't really need mana to cast spells, especially when you're solo. You don't really expect the A to kill before 6 really, so in this game, that starting item build is not a big deal. You can go for it. So things will start off. Anyways, he is a solo mid hero on average. It's important to solo him. Do not dual lane him. That's very important because he's not strong in a dual lane. He has virtually no contribution. His only disable of any kind early game is a silence, which you can get at level 1, and it's a very good silence, but the downside is that other than silencing someone, that's not enough. You need a slow, you need a stun to really contribute to a dual lane. So BloodSeeker in a dual lane is not a good thing. So I picked up Berserker's Blood on the first last hit. When I get last hits, you can see the blood coming out of my hero. There we go. So every time I get a last hit, that is a little bit of health regen for me. So at the moment I'm outlasting the Priest of the Moon, but this guy actually ended up being very good this game, so he impressed me a couple times. He did pick up that one, but anyways, I can talk over the other skills quick. So other than the... what did I alt-tab for? I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, I reduced the scroll right there. I had just casted the game before this or something, so I had to reduce or turn the scroll back up. But Blood Rage is the first skill. I'll pick that up now. I can cast that. It's a single target. Cast on enemies or yourself. Or your allies, any hero or unit, I think, silences them. They take 20 damage per second, and it has a certain amount of duration that it lasts for. So, for example, if I cast it on an enemy, I'm sorry, it also gives you a bonus amount of damage. So, you get a bonus damage, you take damage over time, and you're silenced. So, for example, on BloodSeeker, it's okay for me to cast this on myself when I want to do more damage, but it also limits me in the fact that I cannot then cast Rupture, which is my ultimate. So usually you do use it on yourself to look for damage situations, but primarily use it offensively to disable someone from using spells while you do your magic, while you make your magic happen. So kind of weird ability. I use it here just to do a little bit of harass. So it's going to do, I think it lasts for 6 seconds at level 1 if I look at it right now. Yeah, there it is, 6 seconds level 1. That's the damage increase of 20% at level 1, and the cooldown scales as well as the duration. So you can't perma-silence somebody until level 4, in which case you can cast it. You can actually do it at level 3, but it's not quite perma because it has a casting animation. So he tried to get an arrow off on me there, which is a good try, but unfortunately what happened, he was about to last hit that creep, and he missed. So because he missed his last hit, he did not end up landing the arrow on me, which I probably would have taken 200, 250, 300 damage maybe from that. I wouldn't have died from it, but it was a good attempt. So anyways, I was kind of looking for a Blood Rage cast, but then he went out of range. So for now, he's going to go do some ruining, and I'm just going to continue last hitting, because that's very important. So we do at least have wards up, so we know that he's going to have a haste rune. I seem to remember I didn't do the best job calling this in action in this game, but that's okay. I'm now up to 700 gold, and skill build wise, I get 2 levels of Bloodbath now. There's the hero kill and the unit kill percentages of heals that I get. So 15% of the max HP of a melee creep, which is 500. You guys ready for some mental math? So let's say 15% of 500 is 15 times 5, which is 75. So at level 1, it gives me... currently it gives me 75 HP per last hit that I get. That's for a deny, that's for a last hit. So it's very, very good to pick up that skill. And he does a little bit of harass there, but I wasn't too concerned with it. I don't know if I got that, no. I missed a couple last hits, he needed a nice Starfall, but I still have a lot of HP. His strength gain is pretty good, BloodSeeker's that is. His agility gain is decent. Int gain doesn't really matter a whole lot because he doesn't cast a whole lot. I don't have the exact numbers, so... but I see, from what I remember, I'm already up to 700 HP and I'm a level 4 hero, so that alone should tell you something. So, and depending on where I want to go with my item build, can go a lot of different ways. BloodSeeker is a untested hero in some ways, so and by untested what I mean is that he is not played on the competitive level at all. I can talk about that later, but when you have a hero that's not played on the competitive scene at all, the item builds are a little up in the air. I mean, there's pub item builds that everybody knows, right? So if we talk about a hero like Clinks, who until recently was never played on the competitive scene, we would say, okay, Clinks' item build, probably an Orchid, maybe a Sheepstick. What's really the best item build? Who knows? And then people... then it's not until like you see him played in the professional scene where people start like really figuring things out and saying, okay, this officially works. We're winning games with this item build. It's okay to do this, and that's what we'll do. So BloodSeeker has a semi-untested item build. He's an agility hero, but the problem is he's not like a straight DPSer. He kind of needs a lot of tank, and the more well thought out item builds are usually kind of looking towards something like a Radiance. A Radiance allows you to chase. He's a chasing hero. His third skill gives you big movement speed. That was a good arrow by Priest of the Moon. Not really. I could have dodged that. Well, I tried to dodge it, I'm sure, but my reaction time was slow. But as you can see, I took a good chunk of damage from that. But in the meantime, I ate 1 tango, and now watch my last hits and my HP. So he just did a lot of damage to me. That was, in a normal situation, that would have been a huge blow to my survivability. But because I'm BloodSeeker and I have 2 levels of the Bloodbath or whatever, bam, full HP, no problem. 1 tango and full HP. I'm going to pull, I could have gotten that last hit, but I decided to pull the creep wave pass because I wanted to make sure the tower didn't take too many hits. But anyways, third skill, if somebody is low HP, then below 40%, then I get vision of them and huge movement speed. So the radius is actually gigantic on that. 3,000 radius up to 6k max. That means I could be sitting in the mid lane, and I could see some hero in their jungle that has no HP. Could just literally see that. So for my item choice here, I picked up an Urn. I have my ulti now because I am level 6, so I do have a kill possibility. If you guys have played against BloodSeeker yet, it does a bunch of damage. Well, not a bunch at level 1, but 150 damage here, and depending on how far they move, they take more or less damage. So at level 1, its move damage is 20%. So that means as I go from level 1 Rupture to level 2, it doubles the move damage. So that means early move damage is not very good. And once again, if you guys haven't watched my BloodSeeker commentaries or any commentaries about BloodSeeker in the past, Force Staff is not a good item to have on BloodSeeker, at the very least at level 1, because Force Staff moves 600 units, I believe, and 20% of 600 is... 60 times 3, which is 180. So it's basically you're getting 180 damage nuke out of a Force Staff from having that item. So that's 2,200 gold. That's pretty much not worth it. So that's why you don't want to get a Force Staff. Later on, it's worth it. Once you get to the 3rd level of ulti, you're doing triple that, which is almost 600, which is actually very, very high. But early on, it's not really worth it to have the Force Staff. There's better stuff to have. So at this point, I want to go ganking. I'm level 6. Rupture is a really good skill. The best way to counter it, if you guys are wondering, is to TP out. BloodSeeker has 0 stuns. That means if I Rupture somebody's, they would be smart to just leave. Just teleport out. So Priest Moon here is invisible, but we're coming in for the gank. I will probably want to Rupture the low squishy targets. And with my Urn, after somebody dies, I'll also have an extra nuke. So Memoria is going to get initiated on here. See if he morphs at all. He's going to waveform through, and I'm going to Rupture in on Dazzle, and also looking for the silence on him, which I do get off, so this is like a guaranteed kill here. He's going to not move, but not much he can do about that. And I immediately start the Urn damage going on the Priest of the Moon. So it's at this point that Thirst is going to kick in, so you will see the movement speed is increased. And now I'm going to dive a tower a little bit. There's another Blood Rage. I did not want him to arrow or cast on me, and as I get the kill, I also get healed up. And I still have a little bit of Thirst movement bonus speed. and he actually gave up on me a little bit. I was surprised about that. I guess he already used spawn spiderlings and didn't want to screw around with it. But so I got 2 kills there. That was a very successful gank, and then I pick up phase boots. And then Broodmother as well as Dazzle show up, and at this point I have 1 urn left. I was going to wait till Poison Touch runs out. Then I'm going to heal him back up. So gank was successful. I got a lot of levels out of that, actually. I went all the way up to level 8. I was just about 7 before that gank came. This is a successful gank from the mid lane. My thirst is now maxed out, so my chasing is very good. And you may look at my item build and be a little confused about that. I could have gone agility treads. I could have gone poor man's shield, something like that. But I kind of like going urn on BloodSeeker. The strengths of BloodSeeker is really about getting those kills in. Like when you die, for example, like especially the Priest of the Moon example. I was chasing after Priest of the Moon. It was very close. I almost didn't survive after getting the kill. So you have to realize that early game used offensively on a hero like BloodSeeker is so important because he doesn't have a whole lot of damage. If you're against a good player, you're going to rupture them, they're going to stand still, and then you're going to hit them, but you don't have any damage items yet. So it's not very effective to try to get, basically an early BloodSeeker gank is very, very reliant on either other heroes or a little bit of damage from another source. So Urn really covers that a lot. So Phase Boots as well gives me chasing power and probably better attack, probably better damage over time than a Treads would at this level. So I like grabbing Phase, good movement speed, plus 24 damage. I can last it like crazy. Very little chance of me missing last hits with Quelling Blade and Phase Boots. So I like the mobility that gives me. My Rupture's now up again, so I probably should be ganking. Perhaps, I don't remember if I decide to lane control more here or not, but anyways, so that's the decision for my choices. Also, Urn is nice because it gives you more HP. HP is absolutely necessary when you're playing a chasing hero. It's so important because when you're chasing, you're almost always at a disadvantageous position, so you have to make sure. I got vision on somebody there. As you can see, I'm max movement speed. I'm not sure who it was. Might have been. I'm looking like it was Shadow Demon. You can see Shadow Demon's going back to base, but I didn't see that. But would have been a major dive anyways. So now I'm coming back for the gank. Thirst is run out, but I'm using Phase Boost to get in position, and they're actually completely surrounding the tower. So I don't seem to remember how I started this off yet. I want to cast Silence on Weaver because then he can't go invisible, and that would be a very easy kill. And here comes the chase. There's a Rupture looking for the Silence, and he actually backtracks it, but the Rupture stayed on, and I was really confused about that. That's got to be a bug because. He should have backtracked that. Anyways, so that's one kill. Here comes the Urn. Phase Boots am catching up to him. My movement speed is really not that good at the moment. And I'm going to Blood Rage as well. This is going to prevent him from healing. And continuing the chase. And now we'll get movement speed any second here. And there we go. There's the movement speed. Another Urn charge being used. And he's going to grave up. At this point, I want to make sure that I got the kill. I did already Urn him, so I knew that Urn was going to kill him after the fact. Urn is a really, really good item to have against a Dazzle. So make sure you do it in the future. And now I picked up a Chainmail because I wanted to go for a Blade Mail. Blade Mail is one item on BloodSeeker, or on BloodSeeker is like one of the few heroes early game where Blade Mail is actually worth it. But I made a Poor Man's Shield as well to get get some good blocking in. All right, PowerNet is messaging me. I'll talk to him later. One sec. One sec. Sorry, guys. Tails in about 10 minutes. I'm gonna try to do a pro player spotlight with him. He's a really good player. So, okay. Anyways, what was I saying? Blade Mail and BloodSeeker. So another, like I said, BloodSeeker's early game. Unfortunately, I had no mana for this, so I couldn't rupture him. I was really sad about that. I was missing about 15. No magic wand or anything. Basically, BloodSeeker's early problem is he needs a damage contribution while still having some tank. So whenever you put someone in a Rupture and Silence situation, they either TP out or they stand there and attack you. So grabbing a Blade Mail is really nice towards reflecting that damage. And Blade Mail does give you like 22 damage. It's actually not bad at all in terms of damage output. So it's a good choice. Early game, low HPs on chainmails and other armor items are usually not as effective as grabbing raw HP, but in this case, I was pretty content with things. So I'm coming in for the gank now. I'm going to Rupture on the Squishy here. Once again, he's going to get shackled, and this is a super easy kill. Just a couple hits there. That's going to give me 2 Urn charges, which I will once again use for ganking. And now I believe I am 6-1 if I check correctly. Nope, 5-0. Sorry. Spoiler alert: I might be 6-1 at one point. So there we go. Phase Boots is up. Chainmail, Urn. Got the Poor Man's Shield. Memory is doing very good on the top lane, so our game is going good, 10-5. And then the arrow comes through, lands on me. I was looking top, unfortunately, and there's the little bit of Starfall, and now I'm in a lot of trouble. I was pretty likely to die from this. I did some good juking. There's the Urn pop, but seem to remember. I haven't watched this since it happened, so I was trying to think about how I can maybe do this, but I'll watch his movements. What I should have done... No, I was screwed there. I maybe could have used a Quelling Blade on one of those trees next to neutral camp and died to neutrals. That would have been cool, but I didn't do it. And Uranek got a good spin off, and then I was like, go back in, and then he time lapsed. So, and then yeah, this is the bad part. I told them to stay after he got the shackle shot. I was like, oh hot damn, you're gonna get the kill, and then they all died, and I felt sad. So that's my first failed death. I get arrowed a lot in this game, just to warn you guys. If it wasn't for those arrows, man, I would have had this ball rolling so hard in this game. But now I sit here casually dead for 7 seconds as I alt tab and shit. So, yep, I hate dying. I hate dying when I'm just sitting here with no content to make for you guys for 15 seconds. So I respawn here. I'm apparently alt-tabbed. I don't know what I was doing. I'm so sorry. But there we go, back in the game. So bought an extra TP. I'm going to go to the bot lane to try to defend this. I'm watching for the arrow, basically, because I'm expecting him to see it. And there it goes. So there it is. Saw the arrow coming. There's another Rupture looking for another Silence. He's going to put himself into there and a couple more hits. It's obvious which one's the correct one. It's the one that is bleeding profusely, and I'll get a full heal, actually. Let's see if Uranek can get the spin. Yeah, I'm going to earn it as well, so we get a good kill there. I believe that puts me up to 6-1, so that is the magical 6-1. So, going well. Ganking once again. You spend your mana on the Rupture, put someone in a bad spot, you can silence them as well. And even though Rupture isn't a super high level, I have the earn, and sometimes my allies as well, to guarantee that we make something out of it. So, we lost 2 towers though. Bot tower and top tower have fallen despite us being slightly up in kills. This could be for a couple different reasons. They have slightly better early game heroes, I guess I would probably argue. And now I really wanted to kill this Weaver. I was waiting for ulti. If you can silence and then ulti, that's a dead Weaver guaranteed. Probably. My damage output would probably be enough, but I'm waiting on my cooldowns here. And there's my level 2 Rupture as well, so I'm just waiting patiently. I'm like, please don't move, don't leave. And then he left, and I was really sad. I went up the high ground, and he was all the way over there, and I was like, well, oh yeah, that's right. And then I ran past the tower, and I was like, oh, there goes my chance. So, and then the arrow comes through, and I let that land on me for 5 seconds. I swear I was trying to dodge it, but I didn't do it, and then I deserved to die, and I was sad. I was so sad about that one. I was so sad about that one. It was a great arrow from Priestman. She had a good TP, so... That's the best way to shut down heavy early ganking heroes like BloodSeeker as well as Night Stalker. Keep in mind, by the way, we can see everything in fog, so maybe my arrow vision wasn't quite up to par. It looked easier on here than, maybe I was looking at the map at that point, or something like that. That's how you get arrowed. That's how even good players get arrowed, pro players and stuff like that. So it happens. I was mad about it, but that's typical. You can always play better. Anyways. So, dead again. If I knew that if I hadn't died twice, I would probably have a blade mail by now. I'm at 600 gold, so I believe Broadsword is 1200, and Robe of the Magi is 450, I think. So, it's not really that expensive an item, and it would allow me to at least use my HP to reflect some damage. And the nice thing is that you use the HP to reflect damage, bam, you heal up again, and you can do it again later. So, it's definitely a little bit tough of an item to use. I feel like every time that I get the item, I feel like I'm underusing it. I forget to use it or stuff like that. But that's just because I, very rarely buy the item. It's kind of similar to a medallion. Sometimes you just forget to use it. So, unless it's like a really early staple of your item build, in which case you remember a little bit more often. But I have a Rupture up, so I'm thinking about jumping on one of these guys. I do have a Dust as well, so I'm definitely thinking about rupturing on this Broodmother. And we do have some allies around, and then I decided to just go top, because there were 3, so it would have been a little iffy. You never really want to Rupture somebody and just run and hit them, because then their allies back them up. So now I'm going to run in with Memoria here. Looking to kill that Dazzle again. We have the Vision, and there's the Phase Boots Chase. I utilize it, but he's going to have to go diving, I think. There's the Rupture, and... That's right, I got arrowed again. Awesome. Am I right? Alright, arrow runs out. I use the Urn offensively, and trying to maybe get a double here, but then the Shadow Demon shows up. And now I don't have movement speed and I get ultied, so that's demonic Purge on me. Trying to juke into the trees, but it's a little bit too much, so... It was an over-aggressive dive on our part. Memoria also probably shouldn't have waveformed in, but we both got tunnel vision on that one, and unfortunately I wasn't able to start the Rupture off earlier. I actually think I came within Dazzle's vision range. It was daytime during that gank, so I made a mistake there. But, I mean, we get a kill, and now I was like, oh my god, I was doing so well so early in this game. I was 5-0, and now I'm 6-3. with 2 assists, so I was pretty sad. My last hits are actually just about better than everybody else's on the Radiant team, so I didn't feel too bad about it. And I can look at stuff. Apparently they have a gold graph advantage. Just stuff you don't know in the early game. That's from towers, actually. They have a 2-tower advantage, so they're basically farming us out by 1,000 gold, which is very, very meager. So, anyways, Rupture off cooldown once again. I waited till the bugs went away so that he did not have vision of me as I came down here. If I can get the silence off, he's a dead hero. That's how this works. So, I'm going to be sprinting forward here. There's a time lapse, actually. I get the silence off and the Rupture as well. Offensive earn being done, and the hits coming in. And easy kill. So, there we go. Always silence first if you're against a Weaver. If you do not silence first, you might Rupture him, and then he's going to get terrified and hide. He'll go invisible, and you're not going to be able to hit him for a couple seconds. Or maybe he's just going to run away from you. You know, it becomes a very, very iffy thing. You always got to, almost always, you should Blood Rage first. Now, most BloodSeekers will not actually max out Blood Rage immediately after their other 2 skills. Most BloodSeekers will leave it at 1 for the entire game. That's just because they sometimes will want to cast it on an enemy carry, and they don't want to give him, that's right, 80% damage increase. But in this case, if I'm up against int heroes who need casting, then it's not a big deal. That was a case of Jerry letting Shadow Poison stack on him like 7 times or something, 8 times or something stupid like that. So everybody was mad at him on chat, or on Ven chat. Anyways, so most people just don't max out Blood Rage first. They'll just leave it where it is, just at level 1. They don't want to increase the damage, but the nice thing is obviously cooldown decrease and duration increase. That means every second definitely matters. If you're up against a Weaver, you want him to be silenced long enough so that you can get the kill. So it's definitely important, in my opinion, to max it out. And like I said, especially on int casting heroes who you're not worried about their damage in the first place. So a hero like Dazzle is a perfect example. I don't care if I give him 80 bonus damage. If he can't cast Heal or Grave or Weave or any of that stuff, it's awesome. Now I'm kind of in a weird spot right now. If you look at the map vision, we have basically no map vision, but I'm watching the map very closely. I can see crap loads of heroes mid, so I know that if they come to gank me, it'll be fine. I didn't have my ulti until like 10 seconds ago anyways, so at this point I'm just trying to even up the tower advantage that we're currently losing. So if our allies can just hold things off with Venomancer mid, which they're doing a nice job of, look at that. I mean, I basically did 70% damage to that tower, and I'm just going to do an earn on the bottom there just to lower his HP a very slight amount in case I did want to indeed die this. But I'm starting to probably feel a little bit paranoid. I seem to remember that I went back pretty soon here. And Broodmother gets a kill on Uranic top lane solo, the first of many of our Juggernaut's deaths. So I just played it safe and I backed off. I don't want to go for a kill, I don't want to dive, all that stuff. I felt like somebody was ganking me, and now I can see that nobody was doing that. So now I'm TPing mid to come try to help out. Going to utilize my Rupture. There is Dazzle in a lot of trouble. I know Dazzle's going to die, so I definitely do not want to cast him. There's the Dust, there's the Rupture, and he goes down, and that's going to be a Shadow Demon kill. He did ulti on Chachi, but Weaver comes through. And there's Weaver, so I think I must silence. Yeah, I did silence him. Should use earn a little bit faster, but a little slow on that one. Don't quite remember. Yeah, they did do a lot of damage to me. And I found that invisibility, and that's going to help save my life. And now he's going to come in for Sakuchi, so I dodged left, because I figured he was going to go right to get the kill off. So very important to do that stuff. Don't go where your opponent thinks you're going to go. And I still have Thirst up, actually. I did for a while there. I think that was Potom, maybe? I maybe could have recasted my Blood Rage in time to survive against or to keep Weaver silenced so he didn't get the time lapse off. But as you saw there, I needed another second to get the kill. So unfortunately, we didn't get him. But Blade Mail is now purchased. Either way, still had a pretty good gank there. Not the end of the world. There's the Blade Mail, that one item that nobody ever gets. And they are really weird items. If you look at my items currently, it's some weird stuff. Earn, Phase, Blade Mail, on an agility hero. I don't have really any agility items other than the Poor Man's Shield, but it works out. It's one of the item builds that you can go for. Another build that works out really nice is just go straight fast Radiance. You can do like maybe a Vanguard into a Radiance or something like that. That's a pretty typical Radiance build. Vanguard to get the survivability, keep you alive until you get that Radiance. And that means that when you're chasing, you do burning damage even when you're not attacking. But I wanted to do a little bit more utility. I like this build a little bit more. I once got raped by somebody who used this build against me. And then I looked at his profile afterwards, and he plays BloodSeeker all the time in AV mode. So then I was like, oh, no wonder he owned me, because he plays BloodSeeker, and he's really good at BloodSeeker. So here comes the gank. I'm going to Rupture once again on the Shadow Demon. I think I do silence the Dazzle, because I figure him casting Grave is not going to be fun times. Now we got to kill Regiment. which does happen. And now going after the Dazzle, can use the Urn offensively, and there's a Blade Mill being activated that I just turned on, doing actually some pretty good damage to them, but I'm taking a lot as well. I'm going to dodge the arrow just slightly, but I think I'm dead. Yeah, I do get picked off. Their whole team was there, so I used the Blade Mail. I did some damage reflection, but I'm sure they're just going to heal it up anyways on the Dazzle. So unfortunately, their team was not all in position. I assumed for some reason that it would just be 2 or 3 of them, but it was not. So that's what happens when you go too aggressive. So Memoria with a nice waveform adaptive strike. You can actually cast that while you're waveforming if you guys didn't know. Kind of a cool little trick. Memoria is a very, very good. Oh, I just remembered. Sorry about that. Let me shut my door. I don't know if that's been making noise this whole time. I am not thinking today. I'm sorry if that's been super fucking annoying. I can't hear very much with my new headset on, so I'm sure there was background noise the whole time. I apologize about that, guys. Sorry. Yeah, that's our dehumidifier outside my door, so I'm sure that was very annoying. I'll have to listen to this before. Maybe I can pull out the white noise. I bet you I can. After editing, it's beautiful. Alright, anyways, so let's see what I bought on the way back. Looks like I did not buy anything. I didn't really make a whole lot of money there. We did kill Shadow Demon at least, but... And this is the power of Venomancer, seriously guys. If you guys don't understand how strong Venomancer is, if you just stack wards like this, think how long we've been defending this tower. It's been so long. So we do miss the... Chachi misses the Gale. A little bit of a shackle. I do still have a Dust, so we could go in, but I'm looking for the arrow on Jerry. I figured that one would land. And now you have to posture to defend, especially when somebody gets arrowed, but this Dazzle gets a little out of position. There is the Rupture, sorry. And I'm going to silence on Dazzle. Looking to pop my Dust. I do have my Blade Mail up, so I'm reflecting some of the damage that Brood was doing. And I'm waiting for the Shadow Poison to end so that I can heal back up here. And it looks like Uranic goes in. Doesn't really accomplish a whole lot this. And now I'm going aggressive. There's an Urn. I do have a little bit of movement speed. And then I take an ulti as well. And he does banish me. I was going to die there. If he did not banish me, I was absolutely screwed. Look at that. Look how low I am. He's going to use an offensive Urn, and I'm going to Urn myself, which apparently goes through a defensive Urn. Does not damage break. So that keeps me alive there, and the Shadow Poison doesn't end up getting the last kill. So I just left the double damage there because I wanted to make sure that this guy calls Dishi Boy. I think he would... I don't know if he's legitimately raging or if he just thought Mem made a really good play. Mem's a really good Morphling, but not quite sure. And now I feel really bad that there was surely background noise in the entire video. I'm a dick. It's like the one time I decide to open my door and the dehumidifier goes into apeshit mode. So, alright, still haven't really gotten a whole lot of new items. Let's look at some numbers, just curiously, something that I didn't check before I made this video, but let's see my GPM. I'm at 288, which is pretty low, but if you look at the GPMs in this game, I'm higher than everybody on the Radiant team except for Weavers. Not saying that's a good thing, but saying comparatively, based on the scope of the game, which has been a lot of pushing and counter-pushing, my GPM isn't that bad. And despite dying a lot of times and really not having that many CS, because I haven't been focusing on last hits, I mean, we have a Morphling and a Juggernaut, for God's sakes. There's only so much farming to do. He's going to die again solo, which we were really mad about. Did I mention that he died a lot this game? Because he did. So, anyways, GPM is looking pretty good. My EXP per minute is very high, 450 here. So way higher than a lot of other people. I'm actually level 14 now. And this is basically because I'm there for a lot of kills and a lot of assists. Look at this. I have 6 kills and I have 8 assists. That means I'm there for a lot of the heroes that die. That's very important. You always want your assists to be higher than your deaths, unless you're a hard carry, in which case it doesn't matter. You preferably want the kills. Chachi's been doing very well. Uranic is not doing good. The sum is not much higher than his deaths. You always want the sum to be much higher than your deaths, basically. So that basically is just a little check saying that I'm doing pretty good, despite dying like 3 times to arrows. Good arrows from the Priest of the Moon. And now we want to continue to defend towers. There's 3 heroes top, so I was thinking about ganking it, but, you know, that's 3 heroes. If they were solo heroes, I would go ganking all the time, but... And from here on out, I am trying to remember what I do with an item build. I think I do remember now. I was looking for a little bit more utility. I'm going to TP top at this point, because I wanted to make sure that I could get there to Rupture. Rupture is good, did I mention that? Should use it whenever it's off cooldown, pretty much. And we're going to go for some chasing, so... Looks like he is going to... And then I saw Broodmother, and he dusted. I think he dusted. Was that mine? And there's the Rupture last second, so we get the kill, so... I'm not sure who ended up doing that or not. And Dazzle's running away, but at this point, Rupture is gone, so it's not a huge deal. Rupture's just a really good skill for making sure people don't leave. It does good damage as well. It's a nice little nuke. better against noobs, much better against noobs. If you're playing against bad players, you can just rupture them and they'll die at level 1. But against any decent player, anyone around our skill, you know, even at like Chachi's skill level, most people will generally not have to worry a whole lot about that stuff. So, or at least you won't get gimmies, is what I mean. Now, at this point, I let Uranic get the last hits. He's more of a hard carry than me. I'm more of like a ganking utility this game, so that is why I once again went for these weird items. Where to go from here is a couple different ways. I'm actually going to open the shop, and hopefully this works for me. Apparently, I cannot look at the shop if I'm in player perspective. So I should write down this time so that I remember where to edit it, because I need to hide the. Oops, this is 27:37, because I need to put an overlay up here so you guys don't get the game spoiled. So I'm going to change this from player's perspective momentarily to free camera as I open up the shop and look at the items. So upgrades here. So a couple items that I could think about getting as a BloodSeeker at this point. I talked about Force Staff being okay later in terms of damage output. They have a couple decent slows, so I could use something like that. But primarily, I think my utility is mostly maxed out at this point, so a couple things I could get. You usually want something that gives you a mix of chase, damage, and utility. So the best thing for that is probably something like a Sanjin Yasha, an item that is normally kind of shitty. It's not shitty, it just doesn't do a lot. It doesn't really do anything really, really well. That's the problem with it. All it really does is give you a healthy amount of movement speed, damage, agility, strength, and a slow. It's like a jack of all trades item that doesn't really excel. So primarily for a hard carry role, this isn't a good choice. I actually dodged an arrow, believe it or not. I was pretty happy about that. When Broodmother comes in, I'm going to watch. God, I don't know what's going on right now. Player perspective, BloodSeeker. Alright. See, look, guys, I just used Blade Mail. Did you guys see it? Silence now on the Weaver and Earn Harass. And I really wanted to chase that, but I was scared. We'll talk about items in a second, once again, once things die down. Alright, I think I back out at this point. Alright, free camera. So, I buy a Sanj. Once again, Sanj Yasha is good for general utility roles. Sanj is good because BloodSeeker wants HP. It also gives you 10 damage, so it's not the worst. It's not the worst agility hero item ever. 10 damage, 16 strength, it gives slow. And that's all good stuff. So, I bought the Sanj this game. I did end up going for the Heaven's Halberd, though. The reason I chose Heaven's Halberd over Sanj Yasha is because it gives me more utility. If you look at the rating team, they have 3 heroes that rely moderately heavily on physical attacking, especially Weaver. Broodmother is probably more than any of the other heroes. And I do Blood Rage on a guy up on the high ground. I should probably watch this once again. Back into the mix. So jumping on Shadow Demon, I silence on the BloodSeeker, kill the Shadow Demon, and now silence BloodSeeker. There's the Blade Mail putting some damage back, and we do get the kill. I heal up a little bit from that, I seem to remember. Jerry got the double, but they did buff BloodSeeker to the point where if you are close to somebody that dies, you still get the heal. It's really good on heroes. Like, if you get the hero kills on a tank, like, you just full heal. It's really painful when you almost don't kill the BloodSeeker, or you almost kill the BloodSeeker, but you don't, and then he heals, like, 800 HP or something. So, I end up surviving from this one. I've got a Rupture in 10 seconds. I wish I had it right there, because I would have dove, but DD is picked up. And the reason I'm going for Heaven's Halberd over the Sanjin Yasha, whatever, I don't need to look at it anymore. I'll just assume that you guys have the gist. I'll talk about items in general. The reason I went for a Halberd instead of the Sanjin Yasha is because I wanted the utility. And also the evasion is very good. I mean, it slightly counteracts the fact that I have a Blade Mail. Yes, same thing with Poor Man's Shield. It does block some of the damage that I'm taking, which technically means it doesn't reflect as much. But it's not that big of a deal. It's still like a... Yeah, you don't want to take as much damage, and yes, you still want to reflect damage, but it still accomplishes that task. You still reflect magic damage. There's all those other things that go on. So I wanted the Heaven's Halberd just to get the tank up, to have the chase there, and also have the evasion. So that's why I chose the item. It's going to be very nice against Broodmother before he gets a Blacking Bar. So kind of, I mean, it's kind of one of those other items that I feel like has some weird uses, but the numbers are great. I think the item has a lot of potential. So that's why I was grabbing that on that hero. For now, I have decent HP. I have a Sanj, I have a Blade Mail, I have good utility. I can heal myself, and like my mana pool is good enough. I don't need mana regen. I've got Rupture, I've got Blood Rage, all that good stuff. So for now, I'm taking some Ancients. I was letting the Morphling take the easy stuff. We're thinking about going for a Roshan here. which I do not remember about, and I'm just waiting to purchase the talisman, which is 1800. So I actually was waiting for a respawn on ancients, so waiting for those ancients to respawn, and then I'm gonna go farm them up. So looks like we scared them into thinking that we were going for an Aegis, I guess. I just saw their ward there, which I cannot see from my perspective. So, and then Morphling is gonna take our ancients, so now I'm gonna go somewhere else. I really want to get the item finished, basically. It's so nice to have something like that. Throw the evasion on, do the minus, what is it even called? Disarm? I think it's called Disarm. And I sold my Quelling Blade long ago. I don't know when that was, but misclick all day. I hear a disruption on somebody. Oh, it's Shadow Demon disrupting himself. I see. Alright, so yep, buying the talisman right about now. There it is, sending it out. Who's purple? That's Broodmother. Broodmother in kind of a weird spot. Did he really go over there? Oh, he did. The Broodmother is crazy. We have items coming to the Morphling as well. I don't know if Brood is still there or not. Alright, so Heaven's Halberd is finished. I seem to remember putting this on a better hotkey. I don't really like that hotkey. I'm still getting used to my new hotkeys. I changed my item hotkeys around a little bit, and Broodmother's actually bottom. I didn't have a dust anymore, so I knew if I ruptured him, it'd be a little iffy. I think Blood Rage would prevent him from going invisible, but I can't remember exactly. I might be wrong. So, but anyways, up to 1765 HP now. I have 25% evasion. I've got Blade Mail, I've got Phase, I've got Urn. I'm performing a nice utility role here. Despite me not having AoE, I mean, I think there's going to be a day when BloodSeeker does see play. I'll be completely honest. I don't know when it's going to be. People always just say stupid. They say, it's not stupid. It's a good point. They say stuff like, "Oh, well, BloodSeeker's easily countered, man. You just need a TP scroll to counter him." And that's true. But if anyone else there has a stun, you die. So, at a certain point, I don't know. I just don't agree with it. I think at some point you will see BloodSeeker play. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think at some point you will. Because this Rupture keeps getting buffed. It keeps getting buffed. It's going to eventually see play. Eventually someone's going to say, "Oh, BloodSeeker's Rupture is actually good enough to play finally. Let's do it." It's the same thing with Axe. Axe, everybody's like, Axe is terrible, and then they just buff Battle Hunger to the point where they're like, "Alright, well, we have to play Axe." Or some teams actually do play him, so. Anyways, going for the Roshan now. A little bit of bugs coming in. So we backed out. It's kind of a little important dancing for both of us to do. And going in, I dropped the silence with the Blood Rage. So I silenced him. He did have a Lincoln Sphere, which is a great item, and I'm just going to Rupture to get the kill, so. That's a dead hero. He goes down. There's Weaver again. I'm going to try to silence him. I'm going to try to silence somebody. Just going to right-click on the Broodmother, and there's the dust. I don't remember who's... Oh, was that my dust? Yeah, that was my dust. My dust was late. I was a little late on the dust. But we get a double kill, which means we can take bottom and possibly Roshan. I seem to remember we just pushed bottom. And Morphling went top. He should have made a replicant of us and then teleported top to clear the wave and then came back. But, slight mistake. I thought about that as he was TPing. At that point, it's too late, so... And we're just going to right-click the tower. I think I want to destroy his Lincoln Sphere. It's such a low cooldown on Blood Rage that you just have to do it, man. And there we go. Lincoln Sphere is gone. 6-second cooldown on Blood Rage is like the best skill for removing Lincoln Sphere. And we sprint back now, going for a Aegis if possible. And at this point, I'm going to use Blood Rage on myself. So if you look at my damage, I'm at plus 157. Now remember that 80% is based off your base damage, which counts as the number that's mostly arbitrarily assigned to your hero, plus your stat growth. So my agility and my original base damage at the start of the game. That's what gets bonused by 80%. It doesn't count. If I grab a Divine Rapier and cast Blood Rage, I don't get 80% of the Divine Rapier. That's not how it works. So it was giving me about 80 damage there. Yeah, which makes sense, because 80 is about 80% to 108. So good to use on physical targets like that. If you're in like a hit fest with another melee hard carry or something like that who's also life stealing, then you might need the bonus damage to get the kill. So that's what I did there. And same thing in the jungle. If I'm jungling and I'm going for physical damage on ancient creeps, then this is the best way to get there a little bit quicker. So there is that. At this point, we have a pretty good gold advantage. We could just wait them out because we have a Morphling as well as a Juggernaut. we should be able to outcarry them at least. I guess they have semi-comparable farm, but Morphling is always going to reign supreme over those other heroes. He just has way more carry potential than a hero like Weaver. Maybe not way more, but moderate more amounts. Priest in a really late game is obviously strong, but definitely needs like 2 or 3 main damage items to get to serious mode. Twitch guys just love punching creeps and then just bathing in their blood, just like, I don't know how you guys farm creeps, but I go into the forest and I take a knife and I just bathe in it. Like, I literally bring a bathtub and just throw it down. I have like an inflatable bathtub and I just inflate it and then just bathe. It heals. That's how it works, so it's pretty sweet. And I don't remember what I have coming to myself. I think I'm dropping the dust. I was checking to make sure somebody else had dust. Or maybe it's somebody else's courier. That's also a possibility. And nothing like a little bit of downtime between murdering people. See, my only problem with bathing in blood is like it really doesn't feel like I have to shampoo afterwards. It's really not very cost efficient to the bathing portion. It's like really enjoyable, but like it just creates another problem. You should have to take another bath when you get home. So, I don't know how BloodSeeker does it. Maybe that's how his dreadlocks are made so fancy. It's just like totally blood weaved into his hair. No, those are all feathers, I'm sorry, but he's a pretty creepy dude for sure. But alright, so now our team's posturing a little bit up mid. Looks like we might go ganking or team fight or something. Broodmother pressuring bottom. I don't even know what I'm farming for at this point. Oh yeah, I was like, I want a Yasha. And this is what I do sometimes mid game, which isn't necessarily the smart option to do. Where I say, I want an item, and then I go farm it. When we probably should be ganking and pushing. I mean, Rupture's been off cooldown this entire time. It's got a low cooldown, of course, down to like 50 seconds at level 3, but yeah. I don't know. It's a bad habit of mine, where sometimes I get greedy on items. But Yasha will be on the way. It'll give me nice movement speed. It will increase my damage. It'll increase my attack speed by a lot. And I just I think I wanted to put the old dust down. I think this is the point of the game when I was still in major farm mode in my brain, and I decided to go mid to stop the push so that they would not take our mid tower as everybody else was looking to team fight. So, yep, that's where I checked mid and I said, oh god, the wave, I must stop it. So I sprinted mid. In the meantime, Priest of the Moon is counter pushing top a little bit. And our team is looking for the money. I definitely stayed here too long, so this is not smart, but on the bright side, I'm getting last hits. That's cool, right? When really we should be initiating and fighting and all that cool stuff. I should have left right now, probably. I think what I did, I said, okay, let's go, and then I had to kill the range creep. They were looking to team fight, and then I wanted to make sure that this wave didn't push no matter what, so I killed the range creep. That's important to do. If you want the wave to push no matter what, you make sure that you have a range hero advantage, or range unit. And at this point I was like, oh crap, Priest of the Moon's pushing top anyways, and I'm already super late to get there, and then someone TPs, so I was like, I sat out mid way too long. That was definitely a mistake. No one died, and we got tower, I guess? So, I don't know, they got tower at least, there's that. But I didn't really accomplish a whole lot mid, other than making sure that our Rax was in no way threatened. When the top one was our top one was anyway, so it was kind of not worth it, but mistakes we made. I believe he already picked up a Scotty. He went like fast Scotty here. I seem to remember. I don't even remember those bugs landing on me. I remember that he casted it. He must have had a ward or something, but run within the tower range and get that last hit. 34 gold all day. Next item choice that I could go for was going to be a Manta style, which is kind of a weird BloodSeeker item. I believe, I think his illusions probably do get Thirst, which is the movement speed advantage. Other than that, they're not that great of illusions. He's got pretty good stats. I mean, look at my base damage; it's quite high, 134. So they would do 28 or 33% of that damage. And Uranic eats an arrow this time, not me. Yes, I didn't mess up. And now we chase, trying to get a kill. Trying to catch the old Shadow Fiend, or the Shadow Demon. There's the Rupture, and now he's pretty much screwed at this point. So he does get picked off. We get our first kill. I've got another Rupture in 50 seconds, so I'm going to be ready to go shortly. And Manta style would be the way to go. I don't know why he said nice ult there. I don't know what that was about. Maybe he's mad at me for playing BloodSeeker. I don't know.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Maybe it was the Priest Moon ulti. I don't know what they're talking about. Oh, he ultied on the Morphling. Okay, that's what happened. So, I burned his Lincoln Sphere. That's dead for 20 seconds now. I can now cast another Blood Rage, which I will. So I'm going to Blood Rage him. It's going to do a little bit of damage. Arrow's going to come through. It actually lands on Chachi, and I'm still no Rupture, but I can jump in. And I still have not used an Urn offensively. Yes, I have, actually. So he's going to get picked off. Now I'm dancing, looking for a target. I seem to remember I danced way too long in this team fight. Now there's bugs on me, and I'm intimidated. And Venomancer is still dead. And there's Priest of the Moon. We had Vision, and there is the old Rupture. That's an easy kill. And Weaver is going to use a little bit of time lapse. And I shouldn't have silenced that illusion right there, but it doesn't really matter, so it's okay. And now we hit the tower. Once again, more silence, magic. And since he did go invisible at the correct time, no problem at all for him. A little bit of Shadow Poison. He calls a good game, well played for the second time this game. Except it's actually a little bit more serious this time, so. We're actually about to be aggressive. I wish I had Rupture again, but it would be cheap if Rupture would be like 0-second cooldown and stuff. Believe it or not, guys. That would be unfair. It's an ulti, and Mem gets a free kill, pretty much. Goodbye, Lincoln Sphere, once again. Not really being that useful. It's understandable that he got it, though. I think it was smart for him to get it. Otherwise, every single time that I casted a Blood Rage, I could kill him. Every single time. That would have been me going in right there. I would have gone in. I would have been like, okay, Blood Rage, Rupture, done. Just jump on him, pop the Blade Mail, pop the Urn, use the Heaven's Halberd. Or maybe not Blade Mail and Heaven's Halberd. That would counteract its purpose, but that's how it goes. So now we're going to do a little bit of pressure. They still have 2 dead heroes, so we can push casually here. I mean, it's not necessarily the best thing to do, but I'm going to tank the creep up because I can heal, or tank the tower because I can heal. I have very good armor as well, since my agility gain is quite high. Up to 81 armor. I told you to get a Manta style, which allows us to push. That's another thing that Manta will be good for, which I'm very close to that. So I seem to remember that I said I need to farm all the things once again, so I'm going to go into the Ancients, pick those up, and that'll be a Manta style. So it's always good for the diversionary tactic as well, of course. There's the ultimate orb. Probably should have Blood Raged myself here, but that's okay. Priest Moon used her ulti. I don't know where the heroes are. Looks like they're still mid. Oh yeah, they were actually looking for a kill. Oh, they jumped on Juggernaut. That one was not his fault. So he's being chased. And when people chase, they get out of position. And that's exactly when BloodSeeker comes in and makes magic happen. He's going to get arrowed, so he does die, but... The old phase boots. Here comes the Rupture. Rupture! Rupture! Give me a Rupture. It's on the Dazzle. Dazzle is now dead. There's the silence. He's not going to be able to leap. Gets slowed a little bit. That was a 4-staff, actually. But he is dead. And magic will happen now. I think, yeah, those those Curry just getting there. That pipe was too early, by the way. In case anyone's wondering. And that is Memoria just doing a little bit of ownage with the old Morphling. Pretty normal stuff. And that will be the next Rax, most likely, so... Shadow Poison actually did some really good damage there, but... I don't know what his items are, I can check. No, I cannot. I'm just not going to bother. You'll see him at the end of the game. He's got very good items. And I think it's now when I'm like, oh, I can grab my Manta Style from their base. Do it. And there it is. Manta Style. Good attack speed, good damage. And I can punch buildings, and my illusions will help. So... And that is just about the end of the game. 20 to 35. And now we dive. Dive for fun. Dude, Grave is so annoying. It is so annoying. There you go, Rupture. Tank. Heal. Blade Mail. Magic has been had. Which one's the real one? Not that one. Alright, that's it. So that's how I played BloodSeeker this game. That's how I went over, gave you guys my reasonings for why I chose the items I chose. I think it was pretty good. I think if I just dodged like 2 or 3 arrows in that game, this would have been a complete stomp instead. As you can actually see, some of their players did really bad, but there is the old score screen. I went 9-4-17. I had 384 gold per minute. I had a lot of assists, so I did pretty well there. My EXP per minute was very high, 549. So, and there's Memoria's final items. He went Lincoln's into Scotty, and then afterwards got a Ethereal Blade. So, sorry I didn't comment this live, but obviously you probably got way more information out of me doing this after the fact, since I actually have time to talk and I don't have to worry about thinking about how to play the game and not screw up and make sure that I get a good game in. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed the BloodSeeker replay. You can find this. There's the match ID if you guys want to watch it yourself. 212443056. If you want to watch that, just go to the Watch tab, go to Recent Games, go to Filter, and put the match ID right here, and you can watch that game. So, that was it. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.